Welcome to Alphanumeric, a compendium of poetry and fiction selected by the staff of Zoetic Press. This week, Vexatious Verse, a joyous dance through some outstanding stanzas. Come join us. Steeped in plastic. Morning curls steam from the kettle, bright whistle shivering the air. I lift a tea bag light as a whisper, pinched by my fingers like a moth, frail wings of mesh and dust. The bag plummets into the cup, leaves unfurling, inked tendrils darkening the water. A cloud blooms brown and honeyed, but unseen in the swirl, billions of plastic particles, shattered constellations slipping past my lips. A bottle cap rattles on the counter, its blue shine a sharp contrast to the dull beige of a bread bag. I press a finger to its ridge, ribbed like coral, etched with faint oil. The cereal box liner crinkles in the corner, a brittle sigh. This plastic world sneaks in, smooth, persistent, forgettable. It clings to my toothbrush, lines my shampoo bottle, sleeks my keyboard like a quiet sheen of rain. I drink my tea. It hums in my throat, small warmth rising. The cup is ceramic, but my tongue carries the memory of plastic. Tiny ghosts, swimming behind my breath, tangling themselves in my bloodstream, fragile as moth wings, yet impossible to escape. I think of communion wine, crimson and bitter, meant to cleanse, but curling instead around plastic ghosts, eternal and unwelcome. I swallow them like prayers, seeking grace through particles that refuse to break.
The Famulus by Deborah L. Davitt. The Famulus wasn't a rich man. One doesn't grow wealthy as a wizard's assistant, it's true. He spent his days stooped over tomes, researching the means for his master's spells, though he'd surely never cast one for himself. His nights he spent brewing potions and dyes, all from receipts that his master had written. His hands were dyed yellow from crottal lichen, everywhere that the ink stains didn't bedew. This one for health, this one for youth, though he'd surely never take one for himself. When his master took an apprentice, the Famulus sighed and took in the young lad's laundry, in addition to sweeping all the rooms of the tower. And when the master was too busy to teach, the Famulus taught the apprentice's lessons, correcting his pronunciation of the spells, adjusting the flourish of his hands, though he'd surely never cast one for himself. And when at last the master died, the Famulus wept, and the apprentice found himself master of the tower, the iron keys left to him in the master's will. But the apprentice knew that he was still too young, and had too much learning left before him. "Dear friend," the young lad said, "this place has been your home longer than I've been alive. I cannot tend it as well as you. Please take these keys and all the master's books and spells, and use them for yourself." "Oh no," the Famulus cried. "I am not a wizard. I cannot cast his spells or candlelight his wardings. I do not have the spark of power." "You have the knowledge, more than I have myself," the young man replied. "There is no one more fit to be the master's heir than you." And so the Famulus found himself in a somber robe of fuscus black, still stooping over tomes, still distilling herbs, caretaker of the master's tower, and in time he took on apprentices of his own, passing on the knowledge he possessed, though he never cast a single spell.
Listening to jazz in Newport Beach. Remembering the Holocaust. All the beautiful clothes in a pile on the floor, some beginning to wear, a thread loose, color fading, a piece of hair of living human beings. They watch and listen to the jazz. Look closer. Prettiness gone, fading too. Eyeglasses, teeth, possessions become just cracks in the sidewalk. Another time, suitcases piled high near the tracks, No one young, one newly born, no one too small. Rusty, dusty, orange and wrinkled, this way. You could see spattered young flesh, new cells still forming, lost before they began. You would have to see the beginning at its end. Where do people like me go?
I run to the earth's furthest edge. Whispers chase me. Please come back. You are loved. I crawl home, only to find myself alone. Asking the air, where is that sacred promise? Where do people like me go? I do what it takes. I face the day. Where do people like me go? My old lover once said, if heaven is real, you are just as worthy of it today as you were yesterday. A lie he shrouded in truth. Still, his words lit my mind like neon signs, guiding me through my darkest nights. I never told him how loved I felt, or how his false comfort became my religion. Where do people like me go? I am sick yet searching, haunted by thoughts too dark for daylight. I wonder if heaven is real or if hell is the echo of my own mind. Where do people like me go? The work is done, but the cracks still show. I paint over them again and again, but the emptiness bleeds through. I don't know where people like me go.
Solomon's Wisdom. He only speaks with birds when dawn animates the morning fog, or the day's last cicada screams, this ragged vagabond with tear-stained eyes who holds a newspaper like a wall against the world. He talks to sparrows who speak in constant circles, ties tongue in cat cradle knots. He will reveal what they say for you the way time reveals truth, or parting clouds reveal blue sky, words spinning off his tortured tongue until his spoken sounds linger like a song stuck in your head months after the last sparrow has flown away home. Later, you'll whisper softly in noon's heat to the crows nesting in your yard. Cushion yourself with pine needles as you wait for summer's action to pause for an hour or two so you can share news of the world with the pair of them. They'll listen, polite as any well-bred couple cornered by a stranger with a story they don't quite understand, but are willing to entertain. Although when you finish, their only answer will be silence, thick as mud in a new-dried creek bed. They'll swagger away, rattling comments you can't quite catch. You must give up contentment to speak with the birds.
When embers dance on a wintry night. What if deep orange and blue-red flames fire danced on a wintry night? Last night at 3 below, a single malt warming my throat, I watched fire sprites twirling, pirouetting, arching up, a ballet of bursting embers, sparking, cheneying, rising through the chimney chute, sautéing, tiptoeing, silently twirling into Van Gogh's Starry Night. My throat, my toes, my soul now warmed, I dreamt of you, a balleting spark, uplifting my heart on point in our pas de deux across the winter sky. Cowboy Wanted. Dusty, 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 have I got the job for you. No doily lace hands, clean teeth, wide smile. Keep 'em. No pearls. I want rope still smoldering on your palms when we sit shaking at the table. I'll take your campfire smoke like bitter coffee from a chipped tin. Let the heat plaster my hands in something rich. There's work for you here. Mustangs and mares, a whole herd of them running wild and tossing grit. Last seen chewing up the watering hole and kicking at the jail bars. Scat, shoo, skedaddle, vamoose. Payment guaranteed. Sit aside the piano playing itself when the streets turn tangerine to plum. I know a song you'd like. The callous rasp over bristle, sand brushed from collar to crease. I'm the whiskey in your glass. You'll stay a while longer, won't you? A baptismal feast. Emerging, smooth skin slicked clean and glimmering, sparkling in the sun, In his eyes, the One is shimmering in rays, levitating out of the deep, keeping steady eyes set on a hesitating hand, caressing in the midday sun as spontaneous, unplanned as a shark in the net, raised, surprised, and thrashing, harpooned by an unready kiss. Saharad curves lifted by the hands of Moses, the petals of roses quivering, entering unknown lands, the thrill of the new sitting quietly with breathless joy, the exquisite secrecy of silence, experience now dripping from sheer strands, stroked with gentle clips through bestial drives. Vestal liquid tumbles down elemental slopes, queer malevolence held in check. Soft pastures will receive rooting seeds. Nature finds a way around the politics of fear, beautifully near the unbounded features of a new creed, believing creatures creating fresh shoots of joy, new pores oxygenated by a twisting moment, amber fermented by yeast, and a feast devoured by the willing. Every man remembers moments of water. Every woman flows through and over him, several quarters given through and over him, several quarters given through mutual memory, as September's cooling sands flick at patterned beasts, writhing in the dance of life around swimming pools and across endless dunes, unfamiliar tunes danced to by the new blood, careless seconds sprinkled over time. After the revolution. Bullets crash, thud of meat and bones striking cobbles as a voice barks through drizzling air. Next! Beside me, a doomed soul sobs. I hear the scuff of his pleading boot heels as he's dragged off. Chatter and ring of thrashing manacles. I don't look. I kneel in the wet road, head bowed neither in servility nor prayer, but only remembrance. I dream again the dream of my life, the lips of the one I love mouthing my name as bullets crash, and the overseer's voice barks, "Next!" Lips, and those eyes on me, hold them as the gavel of a heavy hand seizes my shoulder. Eyes on me. Call them back, and I'm raised up and stood against a wall of stained and honeycombed brick. Bitter mist, old penny tang. I face straight ahead. My love, and at a signal, your eyes, I fail to apprehend. I'm jolted from my sight, racing away through spheres of darkness and rain, out and out, as if to envelop the very bead of the turning world, as across a vast distance I hear a dull crash and the voice of a stranger calling, "Next!" Karma. With every careful screw, every meticulous line of code, it comes closer to its own bastard perfection. Haunting, ragged, and hollow breaths escape the dripping exhaust that once housed a perfect smile, as it heaves and chokes on its own fetid and oil-slicked phlegm. It thinks, but only so briefly, as what it once was is clouded by a miasma of numbered practicality. No longer able to feel the touch of a lover's embrace, no longer able to feel the pangs of the emotional heart that no longer exists. Whirring pistons churning viscera through fortified arteries of chilled titanium pipeworks, as it shudders from each brief intermittence between piston fires, as the spark of life briefly dies, like the dimming bulb of a failing light. But there's no saving a machine run to its point of obsolescence. Running, unabated and unashamed of its faulty performance, as it sputters to its tragic conclusion. Doomed to a conditional and suspended animation, it bargains its soul with fibrous wirings and drastic measures, until it's faced with the death of what's left, the proof of its imperfect birth, dying a weight 2 times its weight. The rain comes from Milwaukee. Somewhere in a galaxy we don't have a name for yet, 2 stars were born light years apart, but they're always moving toward each other, slowly, caught in the gravity of almost. Their orbits are crooked but consistent. Their paths touch once every few thousand years, just long enough to distort each other's shape. Then they drift. On Earth, it's storming in Milwaukee. The same kind of sky we have here. The sun, a dull bruise of light. The kind of weather that gives you a headache. There's low pressure in the air, and it kind of feels like memory. I catch the scent of old fur, and I think of her, still tethered to your gravity, still circling your field. Somewhere in me, a molecule rearranges. Not thought, not memory, but the charge of being near your name. And so I looked for you today for the first time in this lifetime. Not for a reason, just to feel the world bend slightly. We move at the same frequency, I think, the way wires hum even when they're not speaking. I slip into static, white dress, bare feet. Milwaukee is the stone in the cup, filling the silence. I still spark when I pass by a place we never were, but could have been. I know I'll see you again. A few thousand years isn't long in star time. That's how long light travels.
Corporate call center representative. I am afraid that is not possible, she says, with zero vocal tone of fear. As if this simple task defied gravity, as though 1 in a million billion tries this process went a different way. A path diverged, and with this less traveled road, atoms, once inert, burst isotopes. Wave functions failed to collapse when cats emerged from boxes reeking toxoplasmically. All chaos reigned, cascaded, marched in ranks across every sacred boundary. So no, it will never be possible, has never been a possibility. You balance like a monkey, seeking fruit on a branch too far, too frail, a twig, outside a chicken wire tunnel overhead. Who built this zoo? It was not you, not her. You are both safe inside, you inner, she in. Klein bottles made of hexagons nest within each other 1,000,000,000 billion trillion times, and still, that is not possible, my friend, my pin-headed dancing angel, the pin's sharp tip defying gravity until the tipping point, the 100th monkey, the 1,000,000,000th angel dancing in time with cesium-133 at absolute zero, which is the chance she'll do this task, which is her job, for you today, next week, ever.
This has been Alphanumeric, a production of Zoetic Press. This week you heard Steeped in Plastic by T. Cruz, read by Lee Quintana. The Famulous by Deborah Davitt, read by the author. Listening to Jazz in Newport Beach by Renee Ebert, read by Lee Quintana. Where Do People Like Me Go by Sarah Kay, read by the author. Solomon's Wisdom by Charles Richard Livesey, read by the author. When Embers Dance by James Balanca, read by Lee Quintana. Cowboy Wanted by Zoe Nace, read by Lee Quintana. A Baptismal Feast by Sean B.W. Parker, read by Lee Quintana. After the Revolution by M.P. Strayer, read by Lee Quintana. Karma by Taylor A. Carrington, read by Lee Quintana. The Rain Comes from Milwaukee by Sam M. Woods, read by Lee Quintana. Corporate Call Center Representative by Perry Dwyer Worrell, read by the author. Even though Alphanumeric is its own thing now, you can still check out pieces from Non-Binary Review online. Go to zoeticpress.com, head to online content, and check out NBR Online. You can still check out all of our Best of the Net nominees. Head over to our website and see them in all their glory. Heathentide is coming. We hope you've been good this year. It doesn't make a bit of difference to what you're getting from the Heathentide Wombat, or whatever, but we still hope you've been good. Starting December 4th with the release of Heathentide Orphans 2025, the celebration season goes on for 30 whole days. We hope you join us for it. Zoetic Press, because humans are hardwired to tell stories.